Coming up, we're going to be talking about the Bikeriders and how Disney are no longer going to be releasing it. We'll also be talking about an update on Frozen 3, plus some Disney Plus shows are going to be heading to ITV in the UK. All of them all coming up in today's Disney Plus news. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with all the latest. Everyone, it's Roger here from What's On at DisneyPlus.com. It's time for a quick Disney Plus news roundup. Let's start off talking about Frozen 3. So, earlier this year, it was announced by Bob Iger that they were going to be making a new Frozen film along with a new Toy Story film and a new Zootopia film. Basically as a way of kind of saying to the world, kind of, look, yeah, we know Strange World sucked, but we're going to make a load of great movies in the future. Please don't hold that against us. Well, since then, we've not really heard too much more about the Frozen film. However, last week at the opening of the World of Frozen theme land at Hong Kong Disneyland, Bob Iger appeared on Good Morning America and revealed that not only are they working on Frozen 3, but they're also going to be working on Frozen 4, and that the story might be a little bit too big for Frozen 3, so they're going to split over into Frozen 4. Well, recently as well, as part of the release for Wish, which comes out this week in cinemas, the chief creative officer at Disney and also the writer of both Frozen and Wish, Jennifer Lee, kind of revealed a little bit more detail on Frozen 3. She was asked if she could reveal more about the upcoming Frozen films, to which she replied, "Only what we've already shared, which is that the team is hard at work. We're deeply excited about the story we're shaping together. It's so epic, it might not fit into just one film." Now, I definitely feel if you've got the chief creative officer and the CEO of the company talking about a Frozen 4, it's happening. All this maybe and all this kind of stuff. I know Disney are throwing around all this blue sky stuff quite a bit with the theme park stuff right now. But, you know, they're putting it out there that there's going to be a Frozen 4. I'm not entirely surprised. And I think having maybe a deeper story might be good, might be a way of expanding it. Whether or not we have like a cliffhanger, it's not something we usually tend to see with animated films, but I think Frozen definitely is breaking the mold. I'm really excited to see what they do with Frozen, and I'd be quite happy to see Frozen 3 and 4. I've enjoyed all the shorts and stuff, so why not? But let us know, are you excited about Frozen 3 and 4? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below. Earlier this week, it was revealed that Disney was no longer going to be distributing the 20th Century Studios film, The Bikeriders. Now, this film was originally set to come out in cinemas on the 1st of December. A couple of weeks ago, when all the strikes were still ongoing, Disney pulled the release, then kind of removed it from the schedule. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that. Main reason is they wanted the actors, because they've got like Tom Hardy and stuff in there, and they were going to be promoting it. And with them not being available to do so, they felt that that was going to hinder the box office. I also think going up against Beyonce's Renaissance concert film was probably not a good idea as well. So, especially after the success of the Taylor Swift show. So, yeah, they kind of moved it off. But apparently there seems to be a lot more to it, because now sort of 20th Century Studios aren't even distributing the film anymore. New Regency, which is actually 20% owned by Disney, has now sold the rights on. It's now going to be released by Focus Features, which is actually owned by Universal. Universal are going to be dealing with the international distribution, and Focus would focus on the US side. That's basically like Universal's like Searchlight Pictures. That's kind of their like equivalent, really. Great to see the film still getting released. It's still going to be put out in cinemas and all the rest of it, so we can expect to see it on Peacock and stuff in the future. Disappointing, because I thought the trailer looked really good and it was got a big cast in there. For whatever reason, maybe New Regency wanted to pull it back and Disney wanted to get it out, or whatever it was. Yeah, that's not good from really Disney's point of view. This has happened in the past where Disney have kind of sold on the rights to some of the new films. It's kind of like a weird deal that they've got with New Regency where they kind of co-fund and kind of distribute some of these films for them. But yeah, so at least the film's coming out now. It's just instead going to be coming out 2024. And that's going to be a Universal release. So yeah, very interesting, especially so close to the release date. You don't see this happen very often, but let us know what you think of all this in the comments below. We've also got an interesting update on two Disney Plus original series that are here in the UK, Extraordinary and Under the Banner of Heaven. So they've actually been licensed out to ITV. That's going to be the free home of, for example, here in the UK. So ITV is kind of one of the big networks. And with Under the Banner of Heaven, that's going to be available on ITVX, which is their streaming service. Well, Extraordinary will be on ITVX and also on ITV2, which is a linear channel, It's going to be later in 2024. Now this is non-exclusive, they're still going to remain on Disney+. Actually, Extraordinary Season 2 is coming to Disney Plus in the new year. Really looking forward to that one. One of my favourite shows that Disney has put out. Superhero show, but she hasn't got any powers, and I think it's a little great fun. Under the Banner of Heaven, it's a real heavy show. I'm glad more people are going to get a chance to watch it. This isn't the first show to have this happen with. For example, with the BBC, they picked up Love Victor recently. Channel 4 picked up like a bundle of different shows, which included Abbott Elementary and The X-Files. And this is really just a case of just some licensing out to get a little bit of extra cash in. I think it'll also help with getting some viewing figures up for these shows, especially like for Extraordinary, which might help bump subscription numbers for this the upcoming season. I think the same thing really with Abbott Elementary, just a bigger audience watching it, on for free on ITVX. It's going to have a much bigger audience, very much. The amount of people that have access to ITVX is much higher than people that have Disney Plus, because it's a free platform and ITV is one of the kind of core channels. This is a big thing. Now, we have seen Disney has been licensing out content a lot, especially with its general entertainment side of things. It doesn't seem to want to be protecting that as much as it does with like Disney, Marvel and Star Wars and Pixar. The 20th Century and FX and that kind of stuff is very much open, I think, from their point of view, that they can license stuff out willy-nilly as they need to. Most of the stuff isn't exclusive, so it doesn't really damage Disney Plus. Brings in a little bit of extra money. And yeah, I would say, Under the Banner of Heaven, is that really going to get much more people watching it if it was on there exclusively? Probably not, but there's a little window, get a little bit of extra cash in. I think we're going to see more of this, especially in countries where Disney does not have any linear channels anymore. So it makes sense in some ways to try and get it out to a bigger, broader audience. And, years gone, they would have just put it on like the FX channel. We don't have that anymore. So the only real way of doing this is to do it. It's great to see Extraordinary going to ITV2. I think that is going to have a big audience as well there, especially kind of getting a younger audience in there. So it's pretty cool. Again, it's not exclusive. They're going to be staying on Disney Plus. And it's just basically just sharing and stuff. But I think we're going to see a lot more of this. We're seeing it happening again in like Australia and other countries and stuff, where they kind of license out stuff, especially with this like 20th Century and FX kind of content. But let us know what you think of all this in the comments below. With it being Thursday and with it being Thanksgiving in the United States, the big new release was The Naughty 9. So this aired on the Disney Channel last night in the US, and it's out now in the US, Canada, and in Australia and New Zealand. Here in the UK, we're going to have to wait until next week on the 1st of December until we can watch it. So I've not seen it yet because it's not out yet. So that's the big new release. There was also a new episode of The Kardashians released on Disney Plus around the world and on Hulu. So I'm going to be watching that one later with my wife. But yeah, that was the main new releases. But let us know, did you enjoy The Naughty 9? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below. And our comment of the day, which comes from The Broken Bridge, says, what do you want to see with the Muppet franchise going forward? What stories would you like to see from the franchise? So this is in reference to the recent cancellation of The Muppets Mayhem after one season. However, Adam Goldberg, who is one of the creators and also works and created The Goldbergs, a great sitcom, he's apparently working on other things within the multiverse, or Muppetverse, I should say. I think the Muppets are a really weird thing, because I don't know if kids today and like youngsters and stuff have the same connection to it that like my generation does. I grew up on the Muppets. Having them do something like the Muppet Show or something like that, I just don't know if it's going to work the same way anymore. And I think having too much focus on humans, other than having celebrities popping in and stuff, which kind of they did a little bit on the Muppets Mayhem. But I think sometimes with these sort of celebrities, it can really be a bit weird, because I think there's a lot of them that was in that show that I'd never heard of, because they were maybe quite just like US focused, so don't travel so well, or some of them just seem just old, and then you wondered like how the kids gonna know who they are, like Tommy Lee, like him popping up, it just seemed a bit random. I just don't know what they can do with the Muppets. In some ways, maybe keeping it shorter, just little shorts, having them. I don't know if they can hold a series or a film anymore. I just don't think that there. I do think there's a lot of use that they could have with social media. I think maybe doing something like the Muppet Show, but maybe turning it into like a variety performance where they interview celebrities, to a bit like, was it Welcome to Earth, the Ned thing that they came out, I can't even think what, Earth to Ned, that's it. Maybe something along those there, and you've got like Kermit and Miss Piggy and stuff doing interviews, and you have them running around and stuff, that maybe it. But again, it's also scripted, and I don't know if that works the same way anymore. What always gets me is when the Muppets turn up on like TV over here, and they pop up on shows and stuff, and there's a little bit more playful and stuff, and I think that gets lost a little bit more improv. I just don't know how they're going to work nowadays. I think with a short attention span, you know, they can still use the Muppets, but I just don't know if like a drama series or anything like that, if the kids are going to like connect to it in the same way. I don't know. Very strange. I just don't quite get... I don't know really what to do with them, and they seem to be throwing spaghetti at the wall to try and work out what's working out. Maybe, again, with the Muppets Mayhem, do what they did with that, but with the main core Muppets, might be a bit better. Maybe they say, like, they're bringing back the Muppet Show, and it follows them bringing back the Muppet Show. I don't know, something like that. But it's very hard to kind of reach a new audience and keep the old audience happy. It's a balancing tightrope. Yeah, I don't know what to do, but what do you think they should do with the Muppets? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below. Go check us out over at what's on at disneyplus.com. Like, follow and subscribe, and I shall see you guys soon. Laters.